Good day, everyone. It's Miss Dairo again, and we're still on our reading strategy. So today I decided to make a video so that I would be able to explain this strategy to you in a very detailed way. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining how I run my comprehension classes. Now I'm going to be using a storybook. This is not a textbook. I'm just going to be using a storybook. Now, so what I do is, the first day, since my learners are still new to word formation, so they don't have enough words in their word bank. So what I do is, first of all, pick up the difficult words. Those words I think it will be very maybe they'll find it difficult pronouncing, either blending or pronouncing. So we write them out and we learn in the first day. Now, still on that first day, based on how voluminous the passage is, I don't know if you can see this. Okay, so this is quite lengthy. So now let's just imagine the text, the comprehension passage we were working with, is this lengthy. So what I do is we just take half that day. So we take half that day. So we're reading from year to year. Now, in every classroom, you can't have every child at the same level. So even if you're working with a class with students who can read, definitely you would have some who can read. So what I do is that first we read as a group. So everyone is reading, even Miss Diary is reading. So we are reading it together. So now this helps the slow learners pick up some words. So definitely they are picking up some words. It's either as they're doing the group reading, they are noticing that AND means and. So they pick up some words. Now after the group reading, remember we're not reading the full passage, we're just reading half of the passage based on how voluminous the passage is. So after that, I then move on to grouping them. Now you have to be strategic with your grouping. So what I do is that if I have students who are not too outspoken, I group them with students who are not also too outspoken. Because if I should group them with someone who is outspoken, they would overshadow them with their voice, and it'll be difficult for you to hear what the other child is saying. So I know I group them that way, and then they read as a group. So I'm moving to each group and they're reading, and I'm helping them out again with the difficult words. So after that, we then do the individual reading. It's a very long process, but it's very the long process it has an advantage, because at the end of the day you find out that the child now can read that passage. So after the pairing, we then move to the individual reading. So now you're coming with your textbook and you're reading for me. So now I want to know what are those words this child can now read, and what are those words this child is still finding difficult. So those words will go over it again as an individual. So I do that for each child. Then I give them that passage as an assignment. So I write there, read this. So they take it home and they have to go through the whole passage. Now, if you have students that maybe after school they are still staying back, you can still ask them to bring it out. My children love reading. Maybe it's because of the way I go about their reading. So they love reading. So even in their spare time, they are taking their textbooks and they are still trying to go through the passages, and they're asking me, "Oh, Mr. How can I pronounce this, or what is this word," and all that. So that helps them. And then the next day we now revisit the whole passage. So the next day I go through the whole process again. Now we're not just reading half the passage, we're reading the whole passage as a group, pairing them, and then individually. Now when I'm very certain that at least even the average child can at least read let's say 80 or 70% of the passage, then we move to answering the questions. Now for answering the question, this is what I do, because definitely a child who cannot read might have difficulties understanding the passage. So maybe after you might have explained the passage, so what I do is those children who I know have difficulty reading, I assign questions to them. So number one, you're taking number one. Number two, you're taking number two. So when the child assigned number one stands up to read the passage, I ask the child, okay, what do you think is the answer? And maybe if he's finding difficult getting the answer, we go through the passage together. He picks the answer. I read out the answer to everybody, and we write down the answer, and that's how we do for number two, number three, number four, number five. Now the benefit of this is that it helps each child get a good understanding of the comprehension passage. So it doesn't look like you're just working with with this good with the excellent students in class, and you're just leaving the average ones behind. So every child is moving, every child is improving, and you're not even going to continue this way, trust me. First week we actually took time with our comprehension, because most of the children were new to certain words and we had to go over it again. But third week, I told you, we didn't waste time on it. Because they've increased their word bank. You can see I have letters, I have words everywhere in my classroom. I have words when they're eating and playing videos of spellings and everything. So trust me, most of them are now good with their reading. So we don't really waste time anymore. It's now very fast. So this is, like I said, this is another reading strategy. So if you're a teacher trying to get your students to read, you can try this reading strategy and tell me how it goes. Thank you.